So the warden came out there, called everybody to the multi-purpose room and told everybody, he said, man, tomorrow's Mother's Day. I'm gonna let y'all up.
All right, let's just jump right into it, man. Now that we got everything out the way, man, this is Prison Stories 101 to where 31 years and from 88 to 2016, you probably have seen some stuff that we can't even comprehend as people in the free world. But there's a couple things I definitely want to speak on and kind of get an idea of. The first thing, because, you being a black man, I do want to speak on from 88, we saw the height of the Crips and Bloods, the movie Colors come out, 88, 89, 90, 91, gang banging in Little Rock, 92 is the height. How did that look as far as you going in at 88? Were you part of any gangs, and what were the Bloods, Crips like upon, their rise?
Well, when I went to prison, it wasn't no Crips and Bloods, right. You know what I'm saying, in 88. You know what I'm saying? They didn't emerge probably about 92, 93. You know what I'm saying? And you had MWs, you had Black Panther Party, you had Muslims, you know what I'm saying? But we had unity though, you know what I'm saying? But when the Crips and Blood emerged, it was new to me, you know what I'm saying? This code of conduct, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, because when I went, you had older guys, you understand, they're gonna make you go to school, you gonna go to school, they're gonna try to get you to go home. It wasn't about, you know what I'm saying, we fighting each other. It wasn't about that. It was about, getting each other to go home, and it's, that's when I came. But it had changed,
What were they on? The Bloods, the Crips, were there leaders? Was it still gang hierarchy on the inside?
When I say to me, my just opinion, it's just a group that, man, likes to fight. You know what I'm saying? Likes to fight.
Get out there.
They likes to fight, you know what I'm saying? But, what's to that, though? You know what I'm saying? What is to that? You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, man, when I first was introduced to it, my partner was telling me it was brothers that led out of darkness.
Yeah.
That's what he told me it was about. You know what I'm saying? Then he told me what the Crips was about. He said community revolution in progress. That's when I first, came.
Those are positive acronyms.
Yeah. That's what I came into the knowledge
black
of it.
Community. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And but I guess, you know what I'm saying, they see it different, you know what I'm saying? But I don't understand it now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Were the because gang signs and things like that, something that, probably the COs and the warden never seen before, these gang signs and, the way they were moving. Were they worried about the Crips and Blood problem, the warden, the COs?
No, I was in the incident one time, man, that Crips and Blood got into it. I was on Telfair unit in 95, and Mother's Day was the next day, that's Sunday, but it happened at Saturday outside. So everybody started shooting gas, everybody on the ground and this and that. So boom, but it was Mother's Day. This let me know how do they feel about it, And so the warden came out there, called everybody to the multi-purpose room and told everybody, he said, man, tomorrow's Mother's Day. I'm gonna let y'all up. So that let me know what he think about this right here. It's a joke to him. Now, if that had been Tango and TS, we'd have been on 90-day lockdown, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is different than playing games and standing on something, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they view that thing out there, man.
They view them just like, they just gonna fight, play, they're gonna wrestle and
yeah. You understand me? But when the Spanish get into it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
The Tango Blast.
Yeah.
You actually went in before the Tango Blast existed. I heard that they started kind of early 90s.
Yeah.
And mind you, now they're known as one of the most infamous gangs in prison as far as with the most unity.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What was the Mexican situation like prior to the Tango Blast, or back in 88, 89?
Okay, when I went, it was all about families. You had Mexican Mafia, you had CS, you had Pestilence, you had RU, you had you had families, Avon Brotherhood, Avon Circle. You know, it wasn't about, it wasn't Tango Blast. But the thing about when Tango Blast came up, you know what I'm saying, it was about they protecting themselves from the older Hispanic guys because they was taking advantage of them.
Oh.
So that's how they emerged.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because they was being taken advantage of.
So the young Mexicans would come in from the older Spanish guys and they would just immediately attack.
Yeah,
immediately
because they make them out of prospects or they make them out of, you know what I'm saying, what they gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they had to, they come up with a solution where then we're gonna have to stop this here, man, because you understand me, hey. And that's how they came up, that's how they emerged, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
As of now, they look like their most unified unit. Is it a situation where, from what you saw, the Mexicans will all come together, the Hispanics will all come together? If anything goes down, is they all going? There's no, not like Crips, Bloods. No, they gonna ride for each other. Okay, yeah,
they're gonna ride for each other. I think it's more unity now than it was when you know what I'm saying, because they were just now merging. You know what I'm saying? So, you got some people that probably got some head together, you know what I'm saying, and realize it's for the culture, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. Now, you were speaking to me off camera, man. You said, there's a story in which you seen a man lose his head.
Yes.
In prison. Please.
It was 2001. I was on Beto unit, man, and a guy, you understand me, made a deal with one of his partners, man, out of Detroit. And which dude called Detroit, man, he stand on good faith, but he had a partner, man, that, didn't stand on that, man. And dude gave him $20, man, to go get him something. And but he gave it to his partner. But his partner never did, return what he's supposed to return. And man, a couple of days later, man, man, we up in the chow hall, we get ready to go to chow, man. And a dude, me, working Metafab, man, not Metafab, working a steel plant, man, and he had a knife, man, that he made a hook out of. And say, man, when I say, man, he grabbed his head and cut his whole head off, man, couldn't, hook you, and, killed him, man, you know what I'm saying? But I witnessed that, you know what I'm saying? To see somebody, get the whole head cut off, man. You know what I'm saying? That let me know how serious it is, you know what I'm saying? It can get serious.
Yeah. What do you do as far as witnessing it? Like what's how many people is watching this and what can,
Well, you're in the chow hall. You got over 600 people, 300 people in the chow hall. You know what I'm saying? You got to mind your business because it ain't your business. You know what I'm saying? We me versus me. You know what I'm saying? It's you in here. You in another world. So when you see things, it's not your, you got to go on, man. Because it could have been you, man. You put yourself in that position or somebody, you have to do that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's either or.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.